You don't get these?
Really? These are
Those might just be recruiting shoes, though.
So, I think you have kind of an understanding of it, and everyone kind of does, that there's a lot of places where you could be the starting quarterback.
Yeah.
And you've chosen consistently to stay here and hang in. Can you just talk about, number one, what's been so attractive about this particular season and your willingness to make that choice? And then as you map out your own future goals, what's kind of the math that you've done in your head in terms of progressing?
Yeah, I think like I've been dealt kind of a strange hand when it comes to my career so far in college football. But like I've said before, like I wrote this guy into the school, this university institution program, and I see myself being able to accomplish every goal I set out when I got here. Although it may take a different path than I had originally thought. In terms of this season, I think just being in that room with Coach Riley and Coach Kingsbury is like certainly very attractive. We talk about two of the most respected guys there are in the business in terms of coaching quarterbacks and developing quarterbacks. We talk about the pedigree of the guys that they've been able to coach, and I think also sharing and competing in the room with Caleb is a huge advantage as well. If I'm going to go at it with anyone in every single practice, I'd love it for it to be the Heisman Trophy winner. So, yeah, I think it's kind of where I'm at right now.
Have you looked at the schedule this year and, said, you know what, these are games that I should be playing in? Will there be any disappointment if you're not in those games?
I mean, obviously, I want to play every single week. I don't think, it's fair to any team to look
I didn't mention any team by name.
Right, no, for sure. I'm just saying, it's not fair to, look at a team and think they might be a lesser opponent and I'm more likely to play more. I think, I prepare every single week I'm going to be playing in a game, my number may be called upon, and I think, I'm just as ready, no matter week 1, week 7, whatever it is. So.
Lincoln did say that one of his regrets was not getting you in more last year. So, regardless of opponents or anything like that, have you gotten the impression that they want to be a little more proactive about getting you time this year, both for the value of this season but also for future seasons?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think not that practice experience isn't super valuable, because it is, especially with new receivers, with new install and that kind of stuff. But game experience is invaluable, and I think you really saw that with Caleb, how he was able to develop through his game experience over the last year. So that's definitely something that I've spoken to Coach Riley about, and that we've kind of talked about in terms of my own development going forward.
How much of your time do you get to dedicate to football this year with pretty much your academics behind you now?
I mean, I don't know what behind me.
Well, you're working on your PhD now?
No. Yeah, I mean, school is definitely more focused for me now, which is nice. I was kind of front-loaded that in a large way, so it'll be really cool to kind of put that on the back burner, so to speak, and really focus on ball. So I'm excited for that.
What was your academic workload to keep that pace?
It was pretty intense, honestly. I mean, you talk about with COVID and stuff, I was able to do more than I might have been able to do otherwise. And then early enrolling obviously gave me a chance, and I was done with high school early, so I took some junior college classes and stuff like that. But it was definitely still a super heavy load.
Last season, how many classes were you taking?
I took 16 minutes last year, but I wrote a thesis that counted for both semesters, so that helped. There was a bunch of stuff that went into it, but yeah. It was definitely a great experience, something I'm super grateful for, also something I'm glad to be done with.
So, agility was kind of the talking point for you in spring. I feel like you kind of made strides there. Is there anything else in this fall camp that you're kind of looking at honing in on as far as your game?
Yeah, I mean, one thing Coach Riley and Coach Kingsbury and I have talked about is just we really honed in on footwork and getting away from the line as soon as possible, especially on quick game stuff. Sometimes I was playing too far up in the pocket, I felt like. And that was kind of a point of emphasis throughout this offseason. And obviously, agility, getting stronger, faster, everything like that. And then, you're playing the quarterback position, there's no part of your game that you can let take a dip at any point. So I'd like to think you're constantly working on everything you can.
Caleb has been out. He's already considered one pick in the next draft. What's different than going this year? Just the way he operates when he goes offense.
Yeah, I mean, he was a great player last year too, obviously. but I think he just like he is in like he's in complete command. He has that pedigree kind of under his belt, which maybe he didn't. I mean, he had everyone knew he was a great player, but I think it's almost like set in stone now. And I think like he has respect for everyone on the team, and obviously like, operates the offense with complete command, and he's a great leader for us.
Everybody talks about kind of the game slowing down as you play, but I'm kind of curious how much faster are the answers maybe coming to you pre-snap and post-snap in your second year, for the first time having a second year in the same offense?
I don't know if it's like you're coming to answers faster. I think you're just asking different questions. So like, without giving too much information about Coach Riley's playbook, I just think your thought process is in a different place. Like as you begin to understand more information, you can take in more things at the line. You can think about different things, and like you know where to check, you know where the line's going, like you know what runs are going against what fronts and that kind of stuff. So it's not like okay, like, this is a run to the right. It's like okay, like I have these linemen pulling, this is good, this pressure. Like if I get weak side rotation, I'm checking this. Like there's different questions that you're going to ask. So I think that's the biggest thing for me. And like one thing that really helped me is like game planning each and every week. You have to learn a new game plan, obviously every week, and it's much more in depth than it was when I was training. So I wasn't just throw it to the other guys. So yeah, I would say that's the biggest difference.
Is it an offense where the sequencing is not like responding to what happens in the game in terms of like you're putting things in the first quarter that may pay off later in the fourth quarter, or things that might set opponents up? Like how much of that is put into the plans?
Yeah, I mean it's interesting with our offense because teams could play something all year and then come out against us and play something completely different. Just because of like how we can attack defenses. So I think we go into every week having a plan in terms of this is what we expect them to do, but we're also prepared if they do this, and this. And I think like Coach Riley's really, really special in planning for that and having a plan no matter what.
For you, how much of this season you practice is going to put you out for next year and positioning yourself?
Sorry, say it again.
How much of this year is going to be for you kind of positioning yourself for next year and almost competing for the 2024 draft?
Yeah, I mean, I think like my biggest focus right now is helping us win games. I mean, obviously, like, I want to put myself in the best possible position I can to succeed, and I think in putting our team in the best possible position to win, I'll do that for myself. So yeah, I mean, I've really just kind of been investing time with the younger guys, making sure they're kind of up to speed and kind of getting everything out of my own game, and very excited for the future holds and what that looks like.
Travis occupied a pretty special leadership spot on last year's team. We hear a lot about Dedich. I'm just curious, have any contenders emerged from your point of view who have kind of maybe separated themselves in terms of leadership at this point?
Yes, I think Austin is someone that's not talked about a lot, but like deserves to be. I think him coming back was a good decision because if you talked to him last year, I didn't really think he was coming back, but him coming back, he was a huge leader last year. I think it was somewhat overshadowed because Travis got so much hate for it. But like playing that running back position, those dudes take punishment like on every play, and like that dude's got the heart of a freaking warrior, and like I think everyone on that team runs really well for him, and like he has every single guy on his respect, and certainly has my respect. I love that. So I think he's definitely something to step out. Yeah, I mean, we're both like 6'8", bigger things helps. No, they're great dudes. Guys who came in and off the bat really wanted to learn, really wanted to get in the playbook and be the best version of themselves, which I think is like a really great sign because you never know how things are going to shake out when guys are so highly recruited. They can come in and kind of go in two ways, like probably as we've all seen. So yeah, I have a ton of respect for those guys. They've come in with the absolute right attitude, ready to work and ready to prove themselves and contribute in a big way this year.
Riley has talked about when he looks for a quarterback, it has to to be the team leader, to be the team captain. How do you take on that leadership role, knowing that you're 1B, so to speak?
Yeah. That's a good question too. I think the biggest thing that I've talked about with Lincoln is like, if you want to be the starter, you can't wait until you're the starter to act like you're the starter. And so that's one thing I've really tried to work on this summer is like lead your group at all times like you're the starter no matter what. And I think that's really helped me take the next step in becoming a leader for this team.
So you have no problem stepping up and maybe contradicting what Caleb Williams might say?
I mean, me and Caleb tend to work pretty well together. He calls me protection and tells me, but like that's just our relationship. Like we have a very positive working relationship, and like I have a ton of respect for him. So like it's never like, hey, you got this wrong. It's hey, like we're working collaboratively for a common goal. Like if we're getting this right together, if we're getting this right, we're getting it right together. So I think it's more from that sense. If we're having that kind of discussion, it's not like, hey, you got this wrong. But yeah, I mean, I tend to like agree on a lot of things with most of the other leaders on the team. But if that time came where we had a disagreement, I wouldn't shy away from speaking.
Have you noticed that difference in Caleb? Recently, he talked about how, you might not like him during the season because he's going to hold everybody to a higher standard, but everybody will be happy when you're 1-0 15 times down the road holding up the trophy. Have you noticed that difference in him where he's holding himself as well as everybody else to a higher standard?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think he's definitely taken strides throughout this offseason, just being more vocal, and I think the team feels and appreciates that. And at the end of the day, for me, I feel like I thrive and appreciate that environment because we're the same way in that sense, So we don't really butt heads in that sense at all, but I think it's good for the team and it's good for Caleb and our room as a whole to kind of express that message to the entire team.
So, as usual, the landscape in college football in terms of NIL and collectives and everything continues to change, continues to evolve. I think this week it came out that there were a group of collectives actually trying to open a dialogue about revenue sharing with the players. I'm just curious, a year later, because we talked about this a year ago, but where do you realistically see things heading, and where do you ideally see things heading?
I don't know if I'm brave enough to answer this question. Yeah, I mean, everyone kind of there's stories you hear, and everyone's like, oh, it's the Wild West, and there's crazy stuff happening. I can't make any logical prediction in terms of where this is heading. I mean, I know there's that suit to make us employees of the university. I don't know how that would shake out, how that would, what those repercussions would be, not only the state of California, but in other schools we play against. I mean, look, there were guys super successful college athletes that make no money at all. And so, to be in the position where we are right now, obviously, are there issues with NIL? Yes, of course. It's brand new. There's not a lot of regulation. There's not a lot of people that understand the landscape completely. But at the end of the day, we're receiving compensation that we wouldn't have 3-4 years ago. So I think that's a positive thing, and it's a step in the right direction.
You get players from other teams across the country reaching out and asking what it's like out here at the NIL compared to maybe what's going on in other parts of the country.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's always oh, these schools in the South are throwing out ridiculous amounts of money. I don't know what's true and what's not true. I mean, the truth of the matter is, if NIL is your main concern, this is not the school for you. If you want to become the best version of yourself as a football player and as a student athlete, and you want to win games, come here. But if you just want to sign a check for being a highly recruited high school player, it's probably the place for you.
Like what he would say.
Caleb kind of showing how that can be done on the field and off the field.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's obviously done a tremendous job balancing those two things. He's obviously very successful in both respects. So I think he's somewhat of a unique case that not many people can handle those kind of responsibilities both in here and off the field. But I mean, he's done a tremendous job and has shown that it's possible. So whether that's for everyone, I can't say, but he's definitely done a great job.
What was the quarterback room just going through that season? Yeah. Obviously, the hype kind of building around him.
Yeah.
And what he was able to do.
What's an example?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was super awesome to watch. I mean, you talk about Arizona, game, like you didn't really think like he was going to win the Heisman. It was more people leaning towards kid at Ohio State, and then you kind of just saw him go on a run those last 4 or 5 games, which is super special to watch. I mean, I can't
So that's not
imagine.
lying now.
I mean, I definitely can't imagine actually what that was like for him. But I think as a team too, like the run we were able to go on, beating Notre Dame and UCLA, like those locker rooms are really, really special. And I think memories that every single guy on this team on that team will
And so that really is
hold a special place for them for a long time. So it was definitely super special thing to be a part of.
Are him and Lincoln like married couple now? Are they like going back and forth, ideas, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely a collaborative effort in the quarterback room, which I think is good. I mean, like obviously, like the biggest thing in running a play as a quarterback, you want to be comfortable in the play call. So I think like the fact that Lincoln has an open dialogue, obviously with Caleb and all of us, is really, really important because he understands that aspect of the conversation.
That could be so sweet for you.
Old married couple.
Cool guy.
Do you ever feel like a third wheel with them?
No. I do not.
For you personally, though, like when you came in here 2 years ago, you're obviously a bit skinnier, like not as developed, so to speak. What do you feel like is your biggest improvement that you made since you got in here, even since last season?
Yeah, I mean, since last season, I think the two biggest things, like as you said, have been physical and then just understanding of the offense. Obviously, year one, like you understand it in like the best respect you can, but when you go through a season and like, you see how the offense changes week to week, it forces you to understand the system in much more depth than you would otherwise. And I think that's taking a huge jump in respect. And then just physically, that's obviously something that like Coach Riley really emphasized to me throughout the offseason. I've done a ton of work there, so I'm really excited to see how that all pans out.
What's it like kind of already having that degree
Yeah.
and now just focusing on football?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's been somewhat relaxing now. Yeah, I mean, it was something that it was one of the goals I had in coming here was to get my degree, and then kind of have latitude to play and not have to worry about school. So I think that's kind of everyone's dream in here. I mean, maybe some guys love school, but yeah, it's been awesome. Yeah, I'm super excited.
What kind of doors does that kind of open up for you, like whether it's externships or like even like getting whatever, just extra degrees? How does that kind of work for you?
Yeah, definitely. I think the ability or the opportunity to get an undergraduate and graduate degree in 4 years has been awesome. In terms of work experience, it's been limited, just in that like I doubled up on summer school the past 2 years, so that took a lot of my time over the summer. And then obviously we're here all summer as well, so it was limiting in terms of work experience. But I think the ability to get those 2 degrees within 4 years has been kind of the biggest door that's been open.
What grad program are you currently in?
What's up?
What grad program are you currently in?
Finance.
Finance? Is that an MBA?
It's not. So for the MBA, it's a Master's of Science. For the MBA, you needed 2 years of work experience. And I only had 1 summer as a college student, so I obviously did not have 2 years of work experience.
Yeah, it's tough when you're playing football.
Yeah, that too.
What's the best part about kind of this quarterback room and how you've grown from kind of come here and tell them Coach Riley, like what do you just learn as far as football IQ, how you develop?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think like being in the room with Coach Riley and obviously Coach Kingsbury at this point, and then also being in there with Caleb has been tremendous for my development, not only in terms of quarterback as a competitor. Practicing with Caleb each and every day has been awesome. And then just to be with Lincoln, who's like the most quarterback-friendly coach I've ever been around, I think has really, really been positive for my development as well.
So as far as like out to the offense, it helps to have multiple quarterbacks. How have you kind of like worked on your speed and footwork and things like that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, give a huge credit to Coach Riley, Coach Riley too, but Coach Wiley, him and his staff have done a great job kind of putting together a plan with me and Ms. Rachel Suba, who's our nutritionist. Like, we worked together, put together meal plans, like going through my schedule, and they've been super positive and super helpful. And that's helped take a big jump.
I think he brings a lot of experience as far as like
Secret talent. I don't know. I like to play chess.
being the first team.
That's talent. I can draw.
So I think that's something we all aspire to.
As far as like, and obviously like
Technicality.
everybody in LA.
Not that we're missing, but a level of technicality that
What's
we
your
aspire to.
top 5 spots?
Very, very
Top 5 burger spots?
And I think
Burger
that's
spots.
definitely elevated.
It's a good question.
My sort of technique and film working with them.
I don't know if I'd put In-N-Out in the top 5, honestly.
So just prevent him from
My favorite restaurant in LA might be
higher. He's told me his squad and
might be Hillstone. It's the like burger place on like Wilshire and Second, or sorry, Santa Monica and Second in Santa Monica.
last year, and I think
And then Angel's Tacos. It's like street tacos downtown.
How do you build that
Really
camaraderie
good.
with a new punter, a new
The
kicker?
Counter is a great burger too.
As a long snapper,
Counter's
what's your
fire.
goal, maybe in the off season, to try to
I think
build that to
where
where
else.
you're in sync when the season starts?
yeah, a lot
I don't know. I really just eat most of my meals here, to be honest. But those three really stick
this
out.
entire summer. At
You got a
least,
team
like, 3
maybe
times a
cooking
week,
channel.
we go out
I
on
do.
the field,
How's that?
snap, and
How's that work? Do you ever come over?
Sometimes
and-
I
Oh
and
no,
make
he's
stuff?
great. He's the
so
best.
be working up a sweat.
He like his food is
Just
kind of
little
spicy
stuff like that,
sometimes, which I'm not
working
great
out
with,
together,
but he is a
eating
hell of a
breakfast,
cook.
meals together.
He's like one of the most talented people on the team. Like that dude can draw, that dude can cook, and obviously like play football really well too. So he's
It
awesome.
just seems like you'd be dizzy having your head down
So
for 2 hours.
when you
I
have
think
that
it's something I've gotten
debate,
used to.
obviously,
Over my 6 seasons, it's something I've gotten used
they
to.
talk about certain food spots.
Right.
How would you describe yourself as a long
You guys
snapper? What do you
got
think your
big,
strengths are?
Yeah, I think
Big
one of my
debates
strengths
about
are
that?
The biggest debate I would say is In-N-Out versus Whataburger. And we had Whataburger when we went to the Cotton Bowl last year, and I still go with In-N-Out every time. The Texas guys really live and die by that Whataburger.
On average, yeah.
What was the
Someone
best
forced
food
fair
you had?
catches, and part of the speech is we get there. At least
We really didn't eat any like true like Dallas or Texas
when you
spots.
look at
I think we had like
all
Cheesecake
Pac-12
Factory and like
and all
PF
that,
Chang's or
there's
something.
long snapper on there,
Nothing
but
special.
How anyone judges that is difficult to say, especially with the media
Just
going
as
on.
far
and
as
what do you think you have to do to be on one of those things? What do you want to prove to be able to
What's
get
the biggest aspect of this offer?
Yeah, I think I'm not even sure what the criteria is. I think for me, I think for a lot of long snappers, they want to do something that really sticks out, considering our job is very, sort of not overlooked, but it's very more like low
Yeah,
key.
no, I would say it's just really the people
Notice
that I
it,
get
but
to
don't
work
notice
with.
it. And I think
I mean, Coach Riley like creates an incredibly quarterback-friendly environment. Builds builds a kind of arena in which we can thrive in, which he really caters to our strengths and weaknesses, which is appreciative. And then obviously, like you said, it doesn't hurt to have super talented guys that you can throw the ball to. So I think all of that. But I think the most important thing is just like having people that you love to
as
work
far as
with.
the long snapper, as far as getting the ball back.
What's the freakiest athletic
What does that mean?
food that you've seen
One
that
of
you
your
did?
guys, you describe you that way.
Yeah,
I mean, Zach does some crazy
he's
stuff.
He's new, so I'm glad.
Dudes are doing backflips and stuff all the time. The
The
craziest thing I've seen, honestly, is last fall camp in our scrimmage, Lake hurdled somebody. And like you wouldn't expect it to be Lake, but Lake like fully hurdled somebody, cleared him, and then kept running.
Those
That was
talents and continue on and keep the cards play right and look at the next level.
Thank you so much.
What do you have to do to get to the next level? Like, what's the things you're focusing on? What do you when you talk to pro scouts or anything? How's it going?
Good, man. How are you? Good to see you.
Yeah, so one of the
How's the offseason been? I saw you went to the PGA golf, right?
I did. Yeah, no, it was good. It was definitely good. Good. I feel like it was well balanced. Between like somewhat having a summer, just really getting after it.
What's the challenging part going into fall camp? Like, obviously, you got to take it day by day. You don't want to look too far ahead.
Yeah.
But of course, potentially next year you could be battling for that top job. Do you kind of like? Does that mean anything to you right now, or is it all just game?
always trying to beat last season, so a few errors last season, so I'm gonna get even less.
Like right now, I'm focused on doing everything I can to help this team.
Just working on
and like I'm confident that in doing that, things will work out
short snaps
down the line. Like you kind of said, like it's very difficult, especially like in concentrated work periods, like fall camp, to think, like to think even the next play. You know, like you have to take it day by day, or else you won't survive. So yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is just take it day by day. Like really invest in the install each and every day. Like continue to master the craft.
Have a good day.
Get after it.
How many people are confused why you're still here? Do people are
Yeah, I'm
confused?
still
Say,
growing
"What,
it
man,
out.
How
This
did
is
you
sort
enter
of
the transfer portal, like, you know, good for you sticking it through. It seems like the path that you've taken is not the path that a lot of guys have taken. Have people been surprised by what you've done?
Yeah, I think it's really exaggerated because of the environment that we live in, where like if someone isn't the starter, they're gonna leave. And I think like because of that environment, like my decision to stay has been like in a lot of ways exaggerated because of like people don't expect to see that. I don't like that, which is fine. I mean, like I've always made my own decisions. I'll continue to make my own decisions. But again, like I'm confident that I can achieve every single goal that I set out for myself and the team. And whether that path is different or not, like stuff doesn't always work out how it's going to. And I've been dealt kind of an interesting hand in college football so far, but I'm confident that I've kind of carved out a positive situation for myself.
Yeah. What's it like now as an older guy having a younger freshman, high recruit kind of snapping at your heels? What's that experience been like?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like my biggest focus is like anyone snapping at my heels or anything. Like my biggest focus is doing everything I can to help this team win. You know, and whatever I can do to put our team in the best possible position to go on the last game for them. And like I said, in doing that, I'm confident everything will work out in the best way possible for myself as well. So that's really my main focus right now.